And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Wednesday, March 1st. Welcome to a new month, folks. I am Josh Engleman here to break down a 9-game NBA slate. Coming off of a kind of gross one yesterday. We had seen chalk be very, very good as of late. A little bit less so yesterday. I was not a Chris Dunn guy yesterday. That actually worked out for me. All the way up until, well, it worked out in general, but it worked out for me all the way up until Akbaji got hurt. It's kind of annoying. But that's where we're at. You know, it's another day. Prize Picks was solid. No house advantage. Good enough. 7 and 5 of the 15 picks that I, 7 and 5 of the 12 picks that I made. 58%. I'll take what I can get. So, you know, it's just another day, another piece of content. Time to talk about how I thought I was going to sleep through this show. Now, I am not the type of person, I don't mean type, but like, I don't oversleep ever. I undersleep to a large degree. If I know that I have something going on, my body pops up. It just does. Like, it's never, I can't even think of a situation where I've ever overslept just like on a whim. I don't know if my alarm went off and I shut it off, if it just didn't go off for some strange reason. And it's not like I set it. Monday through Friday, my alarm goes off at 5 o'clock automatically. I don't mess around with it. I don't have to pay attention to it. I picked up my phone and looked at it, and it was 5:45, 45 minutes after I was supposed to be awake. I panicked like crazy. Scrambled, got my coffee made, got up here. We're all good. I had it by a mile, but I don't know how it happened. I really don't. It's just not my game. Normally, my brain is paranoid in my sleep, and I wake up whenever I need to. Like, there's never been a flight that I've just like, oh no, it's in 15 minutes. Never in my life. But that was last night. Yeah, it didn't go well for Jared Vanderbilt. He was my number one dude. Did fade Chris Dunn. Feel good to see that the 150 maxers were lighter on Chris Dunn than the field. That made me feel a little bit better. But he was the big swing piece yesterday. I didn't understand it. I really, really didn't understand it. I didn't expect them to play alongside each other. It was certainly possible. Felt like a very lofty expectation. And they played the first 3 quarters, and they did not. They were direct backups to each other. So something to pay attention to if it happens to look like that again on the next Jazz day. I don't know when they play again, probably tomorrow. Prize Picks, though, money came back into the pocket. It ended up being about neutral. Just every card sort of just needed to be mixed and matched a little bit, unfortunately. But as I've mentioned before, 60% winners is going to get you where you need to be, and that's the goal. Well, yeah. Dunn was 55% in high stakes. Yeah, he was like, I just looked at it before. If he was 50% in the $15, 150 maxers had him at like 42 or 44 or something. So you don't normally see Stephen Leibowitz Gafford was good. You don't normally see that big of a drop, but there was just too much variability in it all. I'm not surprised by it. I looked up Petty. He was way under the field. That's really all that mattered to me. So thanks to Petty for making me feel like I made the right decision. Well, I think we're going to get into this one, folks. I feel like I haven't stopped looking at this slate. Yesterday was just full on this in some form or fashion. Today is going to be basically the same. I do have the deeper dive later tonight, which is going to feel like a chore, but it will be good to do that with Adam. So I'm ready to get started if you guys are. Let's go ahead. Pet does usually know what he's doing. He sure does. Anytime that I'm emulating them to a degree, I'm very, very, very happy about it. Yeah, I had enough Gafford too. My problem was my chalk. My 2 biggest stands were Vanderbilt and Isaiah Joe. They were both bad. So, Steven, I think that was the best part of my oversleeping. I think the adrenaline rush was good. I think that's going to be a real problem for me later this afternoon. But it's time to get into it now. Thank you guys for being here. Hit the like button if you haven't done it already. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. It is time to break down this slate. I've got my coffee. This will also be an adrenaline rush that I am very, very much craving. Tired. Lots of content to do this morning, but excited to do it. Anyway, it's cheers time, folks. It's rise and grind time. This is the process, by the way. Make sure you're trusting that process. Cheers, everybody. Boom. Oh, this is going to be so good. God, I needed that. All right, let's get into it, folks. Cheers, Aldo. And boom. First game up. That's not on the right team. Let's try this again. First game up. The Phoenix Suns are 10-point favorites in Charlotte. 232 total. There you go, S&P. Wait, you had... Yeah, Harry Barnes. Barnes was 4% owned. How much did I have? I definitely had him better projected than anybody else in the industry. It seemed. Did I actually have him, though? Harry Barnes, I had 14%. Didn't matter. Didn't matter. Not only that, I had 23% Ja. I just didn't have the pieces come together. It was a bummer. I guess we can pull that up. Boop. Before we get started on Phoenix, there's my lineups for yesterday. Lots of Vanderbilt, lots of Joe. But I did get that Ja piece right. Had enough Harrison Barnes, 14 on 5%, or 14 on 5.6%. I'll take that when I can get it. But best I got to was 309th. That was my best lineup. There we go. Yeah, like Joe and Dort, just death sentence on it. Not ideal. I didn't realize Dort finished with 18. I feel like he was doing a little bit better and then all of a sudden fell off. But I mean, you're never going to have a good day when your top three guys go 18, 17, and 18, even at their salaries. So the fact that I got to where I did, I think, is helpful, because that's as big of a bust as you're going to get out of your most three exposed guys. It's not even close. Now, let's go. Phoenix. What do we know about Phoenix? Josh Okogie in. Kevin Durant in. That's going to change matters a little bit. And then we get Landry Shamet. I wonder who they start. They probably don't start. They probably start Durant, and then they continue to start Josh Okogie. But clearly, we're going to reproject this rotation. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Dort and Giddey were also like minus 200 for the game. So, well, limited minutes coming back here for Durant, making his debut. So, let's get Chris Paul in for, I'm going to say his 33. We got to remember that this is also a matchup against Charlotte. Then we get D-Book in for, he's younger, so he's going 34. Kevin Durant, 28 minutes. I mean, we're probably not going to get him based on salary, so at least my assumption based on salary. We'll go 33 to Ayton. They went to Jock Landale straight back up on Sunday. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to say that Torrey Craig plays the backup run behind Durant. Now we get to Josh Okogie, who played 32 minutes again. Is that going to that's not going to change, is it? It sort of all depends on how much they care about getting Terrence Ross minutes. That's going to be the real tricky part. If we go 15 here to Payne, I mean, like, Okogie's been good, right? Like, I know he's been good in like an advanced stats sense. Let me see how dunks and threes remodeled themselves a little bit. So Okogie, let's just say Okogie's been starting since the 9th. That's what I have on my data. They added per game EPM, which I think is interesting. Like, +8 is exceptional. +2.6 is still a really good game. Positive, 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 positive. 6 straight starts, 6 straight positive games. He's +1.4 on the year. It hasn't been great offensively, but defensively it's better. I mean, if you're going to have Devin Booker and KD and DeAndre Ayton out there, then I think that you can maintain those like 28, 30 minutes for Josh Okogie. I think that's more of what you'll need alongside of those guys. I'm going to go 30 minutes to Okogie. I don't really see the reason not to until I project these minutes. I'm assuming somebody has to leave this rotation, whether that's I assume it's Terrence Ross. He's the type of guy that you need a lot less now. Can you get like 16 minutes out of Damian Lee and 16 minutes out of Ish Wainwright and call that a 10-man rotation? Maybe. Maybe they want to play Ross. I don't know. They shouldn't. Ross sucks. David, good to see you. 8 game. We must be on the same schedule. Maybe Apple alarms didn't go off this morning. Who knows? Now, rates are going to be an interesting discussion here. We have no idea what the impact to Kevin Durant is going to be. Or sorry, like what the impact across the board is going to be. Because they do have a lot of guys that need the ball. I'm going to say that Durant takes the slightest haircut down to 30. I think Devin Booker is going to take the slightest haircut down to 29. Ayton's going to go down to 23. Chris Paul, I'm quite confident, is going to just shoot less. This strikes me as the perfect opportunity for him to dial back everything once KD is here. And then Josh Okogie, it's just, there's no way his usage is going to maintain. So I'm going to go with that setup right now. We know that we're going to see like Chris Paul's assist rate come down, or at least I assume we will. I assume we see Booker's assist rate come down slightly as well. It all depends on staggering too. I'm so excited to see this. So excited to see this. Now we go to Charlotte, because we got to remember, Charlotte's awful. And as we look at the Hornets, doubtful tag on PJ Washington. So we're getting the same rotation that we got last time? Oh no, LaMelo broke his ankle. Shit. Totally forgot LaMelo got hurt. All right, so we got to reproject Charlotte. That's a shame that he got hurt too, man. He's got to get out of Charlotte. He really, really does. I believe he's going to be eligible for the rookie extension. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder. I mean, they're going to have to extend him for the max. But, man, if I'm LaMelo, I'm thinking, like, how can I get the hell out of here as fast as possible? Do I think they'll force feed KD? No, I mean, you know, he's a 30% usage guy. I think he'll just get his shit. All right, Charlotte Hornets, no LaMelo. So we're going to get, this is going to be DSJ chalk day again, right? Yeah. It has to be. I mean, I assume he's playing 32 minutes. And then we're going to get Scary Terry back in for 35. We're going to get Gordon Hayward in for 32. JT Thor picking up another start, probably playing 24 minutes. And then Mark Williams in for his 28. Nick Richards in for 20. Now, this is where it starts to get a little tighter. I guess Bryce McGowan's fresh off the contract. It's going to come up and at least be the backup point guard. We did see Kelly Oubre get up to 27 minutes. I think we're fixing to see Kelly Oubre get up to quite a bit more than that. Kai Jones playing about 12 minutes a night now. So that fits. Going to 28 on Kelly Oubre feels about right. He could play more than that. But now I need another guy for the rotation. I guess it's Svi. They're probably going to unlock Mikhailuk again. Something like that. Definitely need rates. I mean, LaMelo not being there changes this whole team. It's a shame they faced Phoenix in this first game. Eight game is correct, Willie. There's no beating variance. Variance is just a measure of volatility. Accept it. The more that you the faster that you can accept the fact that variance exists, the easier it will be to deal with it. All right, so for Charlotte, we got to take off LaMelo Ball. That's easy enough. And then we're going to say Hayward, Oubre, Rozier. I guess that's probably it, right? Hayward, Oubre, Rozier. We're going to... Man, they're not going to have a big enough sample for this. Oh, yeah, PJ Washington off, too. That does really change the scope of the team. How many times will they have at least two of those guys on the floor with those guys off? It can't be a ton. All right, 245 minutes. That's actually going to be better than what I thought. DSJ has played 115 minutes with PJ Washington and Ball off and at least two of the other starters on. 16.5% usage rate. So I can keep him where he's at. Gordon Hayward is at 25% usage. Kelly Oubre is at 26% usage. Mark Williams hasn't played enough, but he's just going to sort of be himself. And then Scary Terry is at 29% usage. Bump him up as well. Don't know who it's going to go to, but we know that it's going to go to these guys for sure. Big time assist rate bump as well for Scary Terry. So we'll bump him up a little bit there. Kelly Oubre doesn't get assists. Gordon Hayward probably sees that same kind of bump. Yeah, he does. Gordon Hayward gets the assist bump. DSJ gets the big time assist bump. So we're in good shape there. Rebounding, I'm not even going to touch. That should be fine. So game one. Looks like Terry Rozier going to be the best option on DK. DSJ would be second. Even 5,100 for DSJ looks good. Luckily, he's 6,100 on FanDuel. You can sort of ignore it. Hayward's fine. Mark Williams is fine. If you think that Oubre can play more than 28 minutes, he'll look interesting. But Terry Rozier at 7,200 is the guy. Big time usage bump, big time assist bump. I got him at 1.22 fantasy points per minute for this spot. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. What do we see for Phoenix? This is the one that matters most. The Suns. Yeah, they don't even unlock. Because of KD being there, it doesn't unlock anybody. DeAndre Ayton at 8,100 is probably the best option, and I would not be surprised at all if he is the fourth option on this team now. If you want to play a Kogi, I think that's okay. You can't play KD at 10-7. Probably can't play Booker or Paul either. Shame. It's a shame. All right, game one in the books. That took a while, but KD making his debut and no LaMelo Ball is going to take some time. Chicago Bulls, 6-point favorites in Detroit. 226 total. You would expect a bigger total, but I think that says a lot about how bad Detroit's offense is. Everybody that's normally available for the Bulls is, which also means that we don't really have any changes to make. I got 20. This is just sort of the rotation that we've been seeing for these past couple days. I'm not going to make any changes here. I guess I'm going to take 1 minute away from Sumu and put it on to Bev, get him up to 27, but otherwise, I got nothing to add here. They're on a back-to-back too, right? They played yesterday. I think. Good God, man. My memory is garbage. Bulls play yesterday? I feel like I projected the Bulls yesterday. Yeah, I did. All right, so they're on a back-to-back, so we don't even have updates anyway. I think Patrick Williams got a little dinged up. Keep an eye on that, but we have nothing to project for Chicago. It's obviously a fantastic spot. And then we go to Detroit. This stupid Pistons team. So Jaden Ivey's available. Boyan's available. Still no Beef Stew. Still no Duran. Livers not available. So we got to project this whole team again. It's just gross. And I assume we're going to like something here. So we'll start with Killian Hayes. And my assumption for the starting lineup for the Pistons. Oh, man. Are they going to start? I don't think they're going to start Wiseman and Bagley alongside each other. I also don't necessarily know who they're going to start. Wiseman starting at center for sure. So let's get Hayes in for 31. We'll get Jaden Ivey in for 31. We're going to get Bojan Bogdanovic in for 32. And then we're going to get James Wiseman in for 27. I'm going to say Marvin Bagley in for at least 21. I do think that those guys are going to play alongside of each other. So let's get Bagley up to 25. I assume now with no Livers that we're going to get Hamidou Diallo as the third starter. That makes the most sense to me. He was the guy that took over for Livers once he got hurt. It doesn't have to be Diallo. I think that it would not surprise me at all if it were Rodney Magruder. Man, this one's tricky. Also, who else is going to play the 4? I guess that's going to be Magruder. So let's get Magruder those 12 minutes at the 4 for right now. And then I'm going to say Diallo is the starter. I am going to be pessimistic, though, and give him 28 minutes. Because they can go 10 different directions. 8 game. Earlier this NBA season, but not in this calendar year. So same as you. I haven't max entered anything on FanDuel since earlier this season. Might happen over the weekend. The wife is out of town for a couple days, so I'm just gonna have time on my hands. We do have MMA coming up though, which I cannot wait for. All right, we're gonna go 24 to Alec Burks. So now it's just trying to figure out the final 2 guys. RJ Hampton, Corey Joseph. I think those are my only options, actually. Yeah, I guess I'm splitting these final minutes between RJ Hampton and Corey Joseph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, they only have 10 guys. So I don't even know why I'm like belly aching over this shit. 15 for Corey Joseph, 15 for RJ Hampton. Actually, we're going to do this. We're going to go 3-way here. It's 42 minutes. So it's going to be what? 14 apiece. 12 and 2. 14. Perfect. Rates change because we have a completely different team. Need to make sure that we're getting the correct rates on someone like Jaden Ivey. So we're going to say it's going to be Cade Cunningham off, Sadiq Bey off. Usage guys here, we're going to say Boyan, Hayes, Ivy. Honestly, I should probably say Burks, just the way that he shoots. But those are the three guys that like primarily handle the ball. We'll say at least two of those guys on the floor. That should be actually a pretty big sample for this team. We're going to be here forever again today, guys, by the way. I don't know, but from what I understand, Adam's going to have a rough time on the strategy show today, so be ready for that, guys. I think Adam had a long night. All right, Alec Burks, 223 minutes with that set of terms, 21 and a half. Boyan is at 26 and change. Hamidou Diallo, 18. Whew, that's not what I was expecting. I guess with all those other guys on the floor, Hamidou Diallo is probably not going to start. But maybe they just don't have a choice. I don't have a great feel there. We get Jaden Ivey to 24% usage. I don't know what to do with Wiseman. Where does Hayes go? Hayes can stay the same. Bagley actually played 227 minutes with this scenario. So I'm going to say that they all hold at 19 and a half. Anything interesting for Killian Hayes' assist rate? Not really. So that's Detroit. Look, if Diallo's starting at 4,600, he is the best option here. But Killian Hayes is not far behind at 5,300. The problem with the Pistons today is that they sort of all look the same. But I think Diallo and Hayes separate the most. Wiseman and Ivy are probably in the next range. Love it. Yeah, it didn't take him long. Pretty easy to look confident on the court when you're on there for the Pistons and not the Warriors. All right. Not as much to like for Detroit as I thought. To Chicago now. Basically unplayable. If you want to get to $7,900 DeRozan, that's going to be your best option. He'll look like a good GPP play. Alex Caruso is probably the guy that I'd be most likely to get to, and that's not going to be fun. 8 game. I wish I was. I know Greg's been playing it a bunch. I think he got Eric into it too. It's something that I would definitely want to get into in the future. It's just I don't have enough time. I barely have enough time for my own life right now. Cleveland Cavaliers are 6.5-point dogs in Boston, 225 total. I can't imagine there's a single thing we like in this game without injuries. Cavs are at full strength. We're not really making any changes here. Chetty didn't play on Sunday. We continue to just get this sort of generic rotation. We get Rubio. I'm happy with all the minutes that I have in here for these guys. 35s across the board, except for Jared Allen at 33. I could probably take a minute away from somebody if I needed to. LeVert's minutes can probably come down a hair. We'll take him to 24. Looks like Danny Green isn't playing as much as I thought he would. We're going to bump up Dean Wade, get him to 18. Give those other 5 to Danny Green. There's no chance that we're going to like Cleveland at full strength against the Celtics. I doubt we like the Celtics either. Jaylen Brown is off the injury report, so we actually have to project these guys differently. And there's just no way that we're going to like them. Muscala is questionable. He's not even playing, really. So Boston should be pretty easy to handle. We know their starting lineup. We know that we're going to get 32 minutes out of Marcus Smart. We're going to get 35 minutes out of Jaylen Brown, 36 minutes out of Jason Tatum. Maybe that should be 37 on Tatum. We're going to go 36 just because. Time Lord going in for 28. Get Horford back up to 30. Grant Williams comes in for 18. We get, let's see, we need Derek White in for, let's see, they ran those 2 games where everybody was back. White played 25 minutes apiece. Get White in for 25. We get Brogdon in for, there's no telling, 25 as well, I guess. 11 for Sam Hauser. Easy stuff for Boston. Very easy rotation to project, and they're going to look awful. So I actually don't give a shit how they end up looking. As we grab Boston rates, since we have to do that because of Jason Tatum being back, we grab Smart, Brown, Brogdon, Tatum, and White. And we're going to say at least 3 of those guys on. That's going to be a pretty sizable sample. And that should cover everything. Al Horford, 12% usage rate. Derek White, 16% usage rate. Jaylen Brown, 30.5. Jason Tatum, 32.5. Malcolm Brogdon is at 20. Marcus Smart is at 17. Time Lord is at 12. Easy stuff there. Easy team to project. Brown and Tatum, I assume I don't have to touch their assist rates. Yeah, not really. Yeah, we're good for rates. So Boston, look, like if you want to go to Robert Williams at 5,200, that's the guy you roll the dice on. Tatum and Brown, Smart, Horford, all completely appropriately priced in a terrible matchup. Same situation for Cleveland. Like if you want to go to Darius Garland at 8K, go for it. This is a great game to watch. Go Celtics, by the way. Definitely want the Cavs to lose this one. But that's a game to watch, not a game to play in DFS. Now we're running back Philly and Miami. Philadelphia 76ers, 1.5 point favorites in Miami, 215 total. 136 people in the house right now, 53 likes. That's actually a pretty good ratio. If you haven't hit the thumbs up yet, please do so. If we can get up over that 70, 75 mark, we're at the halfway point. So skip this version. All right, Philadelphia. What do we know? Dwayne Dedmon out, so this is just going to be standard Philly rotation, which we just saw against this team as well. Not going to be a lot of changes to make here. They did consolidate a little bit more towards their main 6 guys, which I do think is interesting. We're going to maintain 30 on Maxey. I'm going to maintain 37 on Harden. I'm actually going to make that 38 on Harden now. I think that's how I'm going to end up getting him. Toby in at 34. Tucker, I got in at 28. We're going to take a couple more minutes away from George Niang here. Get Tucker up to 29. 16 for McDaniels. 8 for Paul Reed. We're done here with Philly. Actually, no, we're not. We got to bump up. We're going to give 2 more minutes to DeAnthony Melton by way of George Niang. That might actually make Melton a problem here, but it is Miami, so it might not matter. For Miami, I assume we're getting Kyle Lowry today. Nope. Lowry's still out. All right. Q tag on Strus, probable tag on Kevin Love. I assume we're getting the exact same Miami rotation that we just got too, which was 3, 6. So they're 9-man rotation. They didn't go to Duncan Robinson. We're going to assume that Strus plays. We got 30 minutes out of Gabe Vincent. We're going to give Gabe Vincent 30 minutes. We got pretty close to straight backups for Vincent and Oladipo. I'll get Oladipo to 20. I got Hero in for 35. That's fine. 35 for Bam is probably a tad high. Let's go 34-14. I mean, he should play more against Embiid. 26 for Love might be a tad high. We're going to go 25 there. That lets me get Caleb Martin to 23 plus another 2. 33 for Butler. I know I don't have to change. And then Max Strus, I have in for 20. I now have in for 24. There's your 9-man rotation. No rate changes either. Prince, if you actually knew what you were saying, you would think back to this and be like, oh, wow, he made a really good point. It has nothing to do with the Jazz sucking. They played as direct backups the exact same way that they played as direct backups for the first game they played and the second game they played. They were never going to play a minute alongside of each other unless Agbaji got hurt. It's the only thing I was trying to say. You can only have so many minutes if both guys can't share the floor alongside of each other. You should take that as a learning experience. How great would that be for you? Oh, God. I don't even want to see this. All right, let's look at Miami and Philly. Bam Adebayo is your best option from Miami at 8,200. We had the same conversation 2 days ago. If you believe in the Jimmy Butler and Philly narratives, then by all means project Jimmy Butler higher. I will not have Jimmy Butler on today's slate. Oh, by the way, Saric should be a good fit off the bench. He's an actual NBA rotation player, particularly for this Thunder team. For a team that just needs like filler, yeah, he's one of the better 8 guys that are going to be on a roster. So the fit should be great. Like, he's obviously going to be better than Jeremiah Robinson Earl right now as just being an NBA player. For Philly, it's Embiid if you're going anywhere. You can take shots on Harris or Maxey or Melton. This is a really not easy slate so far. I mean, we have not seen a ton of things that I would say we should be getting to with any sort of regularity. Like, Terry Rozier is very clearly the best play that we've had on DraftKings. Dennis Smith is 2. We haven't had any, like, no doubt about it value yet. Go to Brooklyn. Brooklyn on the back-to-back, I guess. Brooklyn stung here yesterday. So I had Cam Johnson projected really well. He was a massive stand for me yesterday. Unowned, but he had played 29 minutes in back-to-back games, and they were starting to consolidate this rotation. And I thought he looked really good because Cam Johnson has a 28% usage rate since Spencer Dinwiddie came over to the team. And then he played 22 minutes yesterday and couldn't buy a bucket. Don't be surprised to see Cam Thomas go off tonight off the bench in the Garden when I don't have him. I just want to put this out there right now. I had like 30-something% Cam Thomas. He was 2% owned. It was my big stand. It was my wild card. I thought I was on something that nobody else was on. And apparently that was crystal meth or crack or crank because it didn't work out for me. But they are cutting this rotation in a very aggressive and interesting way. Bridges also was a guy that I took Giannis getting minus 8.5 points against Bridges yesterday. That dude's shooting more, and I think that we need to factor it in. Yeah, S&P. I'm not surprised that they gave him those minutes. I think they did sort of make it known like they want to see what they have with him, which they should. I mean, he's a perfect fit for those guys. All right, so if we're looking at Brooklyn, we need to have a real conversation about the rotation. I think 35 for Bridges is going to be fine. 34 for Dinwiddie is going to be fine. I got to delete the minutes off of everybody that isn't playing. 29 for Clax. Man, I had so much of him earlier in the night. I'm happy that he's like mildly cooled off. 32 for DFS, I think has to hold. I did have a bunch of Cam Johnson as well. That looked good. Royce O'Neal in for 21. That's a spot where we can give it a bump. Let's get him up to at least 28 or 23 rather. The Cam Thomas minutes are the ones that I don't know what to do with. Let's look at this rotation and see if we could read into it at all. So, all right, for Brooklyn, we got Cam Thomas in early in the first quarter, got his shots up, and then just wasn't good. He played 6 minutes. He missed a three, missed a jumper, made a free throw, didn't really participate all that much, had a shitty 4 DK points. But then they just went straight back to that core. He only got another 2 minutes in the second quarter. He didn't play until his normal, like, sort of bench run at the end of the third, and then had to play the entire fourth. I assume during a what was the final stages of a blowout? At the very least, it was the final 4 minutes and 30 seconds. I can't project him the same way, so I assume that this idiot is going to play 28 minutes tonight and really piss me off, but I don't know where else to give these minutes to. So I'm at least giving him a haircut down to 25. And then I think we got to go and give, like, if we have 32 minutes left, I think that we just have to spread them out, 11, 11, and 10. So I'm going to go 10 to Day'Ron Sharpe, 11 to Seth Curry, and 11 to Joe Harris. But they're live to play 7 dudes today, basically. They don't seem to want to run these rotations the way that you would expect. Now, here's the one that we really need to do. I'm doing Brooklyn Nets in games that Spencer Dinwiddie and Mikal Bridges have both played. This is all I want to know. Because Bridges so far is different. It's really different. 200 minutes, 27% usage rate. Now, I know that that's propped up on that one giant game. But at the same time, it can't just be that. Let's take a look. So this is going to be, I know this is hard to see, but this is going to be Mikal Bridges' game log. And those are the 6 games he's played since he's been in Brooklyn. 28, 22, 38, 23, 22, 27% usage rates across the board. At the very least, he's not the 19.5% usage guy he was coming out of Phoenix. He's been at basically 22% for every game. I think we have to project him at least a little bit different now. So I'm going to say that Bridges is at something like 23% usage. Sort of where Dinwiddie's at as well. Nick Claxton has been significantly less involved. Brooklyn Bridges, I get that. That's a fun little gimmick. Cam Thomas, though, 141 minutes since Dinwiddie and Bridges have been here. 27% usage rate. Like, that's a real thing. It's a totally real thing. Cam Johnson also seeing a pretty sizable bump in usage. We need to think about that a little bit. But there aren't any other real spots where this is coming in. So I'm going to leave these rates as they are now. We're going to go to New York, where I assume we're not making a single change. And I would be correct. Full stop Knicks rotation. No new news. Brunson in for his 37. Randall in for his 36. Mitchell Robinson, I got in for 30. Feels right. RJ Barrett played 25 minutes again. We're definitely bringing him down another 2 minutes. Those are going to go to... I'm going to give 1 to Grimes because we can. I'm going to give 1 to Miles McBride. We don't have to change anything there for the Knicks. So, for New York, look, 5K Mitchell Robinson is a really good point per dollar play. We're just going to have a lot of centers, but he looks good. If you want to play Randall or Brunson, go for it. You want to roll the dice that quickly gets 29, 30 minutes, go for it. Yeah, S&P, I'm on that Bridges train that he could take on a little bit more. And for this team, he's going to have the opportunity. I'm fascinated to know what Brooklyn does moving forward. I absolutely love the way they're set up. That's another team where, I know I said it yesterday, like maybe I said it about Brooklyn. I want to do an NBA 2K sim trying to rebuild that team and get them like here's the perfect example. Imagine if last offseason didn't happen, but this Brooklyn team still existed. I would love for them to go get Donovan Mitchell. If you can give up like sort of what the Cavs did, and I know you're not like expecting, like ignore whatever they thought Lauri Markkanen was at the time. He was basically salary filler there. I would love to see what like Donovan Mitchell on that team would look like with all of those wing perimeter guys. Or whoever is going to be the next guy there. Whatever sort of like Donovan Mitchell facsimile you want to have. And then as we look at Brooklyn, there's not much that you can get to. A matchup against the Knicks is pretty bad. Cam Johnson is the guy that I think stands out the most. He had a big game yesterday. Not much else here. Like they need that attacking guard. I don't know where they go for that. Like, you're not going to get it from the Hawks. I'm going straight through team by team. You're not going to get it from Boston. Although, I will say, it would be very interesting if they could somehow get to Jaylen Brown. I don't think that the Nets are going to have cap space. Let me see. What is their offseason about to look like? Dunked on Prime. Cap sheet. Are the Nets going to have any space? Yes, like CJ McCollum, but obviously not that kind of CJ McCollum. Is this just not going to load? All right. If that loads, we'll take a look at the cap sheet for them. We're going to Memphis now. Memphis on the back-to-back as well in Houston. Uh-oh. This could be interesting. Memphis. All right. Well, I can't get the cap sheet to load, so let me just go straight to Spot Track. And let me get signed in. Because it might be much ado about nothing. I don't think they have cap space, but I actually think that they have the opportunity to get it if they want it. But maybe I'm wildly mistaken. Oh, yes. Man, I totally forgot they had Simmons. I was like, none of these contracts are all that bad. No, they would have to get off of Simmons. They have no space. I don't know what I'm talking about there. Yeah. They would need to get off of Simmons and Harris. Last year, a Harris's deal next year, though. That's interesting. I could see them packaging that up and getting out of it. I mean, you get $39 million on Joe Harris and Spencer Dinwiddie if they want to try to turn that and picks into somebody else. Okay. So for Memphis, I don't think that we could really project this any differently. I think we just have to go with what we had from yesterday. There's no real other mechanism here. I guess we could. Yeah, no, I guess I could take Santi Aldama down a hair, bump up Conchar a hair. Yeah, Chandre, you're the. This is one of the dumber things you'll ever say in this, and that's saying something, because you say some real dumb stuff. But he's having the best offensive season potentially of anybody this year. We're talking about 33% usage and a 66% true shooting. He's shooting 38% from three on the most difficult diet possible. Their offense is everything. You make no sense. No sense. You can't have that take. It's too stupid. It's just 100% too stupid. It makes you look way too dumb. It's insane. It's truly insane. He's a no doubt about it lock button first team all NBA player this year. You should be embarrassed. You shouldn't even be able to come into an NBA stream to ever speak. No, he's not trolling. He's not trolling. I've read this stupidity for way too long. That's the problem here. Houston side of this one. Also on the back-to-back. Assuming we have no KPJ. I don't know. Like, is KPJ playing today? I don't know. Probably. Maybe. Was supposed to play yesterday. I guess I'm going to project KPJ in. Guess we got to do that. That Hudgens guy play again? Thank God, no. All right, so I'm going to assume. I don't know if we're going to even get Jalen Green. That's the interesting part. Jalen Green played 19 minutes yesterday. Is he going to even play today? I'm going 24 Jalen Green, 24 KPJ. I'll keep the Kenyon Martin minutes 32. We'll keep Şengün at 28, Usman Garuba at 12, Jabari Smith at 33. Look at his performance in the playoffs. He went to a Western Conference Finals, man. What are we talking about here? His performance in the playoffs has created some of the most legendary moments in the playoffs. He sent two teams home on buzzer beaters. What are we doing here? And I'm not even like a Dame guy. That's the funny part of all of this. Like, I'm not a huge, like, he's entertaining to watch. I don't like ride for Dame. But I mean, that's just preposterous shit to say. It's truly insane. Insane. I can't wrap my head around it. Who the hell else is going to play here? They appear to be going even more and more to Tari Eason, which is interesting. Where do these minutes go? I guess Ty Washington's got to go up quite a bit. Get him up to 22. I guess I'll get Daishin Nix up to 20. Oh, no, I can. Yeah, that works. Don't trust this Houston team one bit today. All right, look, if you're projecting Tari Eason for 25 minutes, which he has gotten the past two games, and there's no reason to suspect that he wouldn't today, 4,100 looks like a really, really, really nice price. I would have no problem going to Jabari Smith at 5,900. He's playing 33 minutes a night. He's actually playing 34 minutes a night. I got him in for 33. Those are the only two guys you could play here, but Tari Eason at 25 minutes is an actual problem. I'm going to make it 24 just because he's a backup that doesn't have to get that playing time. But he is very clearly the best play on Houston. For Memphis, assuming everybody is in, I love $9,900 Ja Morant. You guys should too. And then Xavier Tillman out there, $4,600 center, played 32 minutes last night, has played 32 minutes in 2 out of his last 3, has played at least 25 in 5 of 6. I got him in for 27. You should be getting an eye on Tillman. All right, let's go to Orlando. We're about an hour in, 174 people. We up over 80 likes? 87 likes. You guys are doing what we need you to do. We got it. We're looking perfect here. So Orlando, 8.5-point dogs. In Milwaukee, 226 total. Assuming everybody's here for Orlando, we got nothing to worry about here. John Isaac is questionable. Doesn't take much to really figure out what we need to do there. We get John Isaac in for 14 minutes. And then I don't think we really need to make any other changes to anybody else. These guys don't really mess around with their rotation in any way. So we'll move on. Oh, man. Move on here from Orlando. We'll go to Milwaukee on a back-to-back. I think look, if this is 8.5-point line, somebody's sitting for Milwaukee tonight. Whether that's Drew or Giannis, probably Middleton. You're going to get somebody out here for the Bucks today. I assume if I leave everybody in that no one looks good. Yeah, that's the case. We're going to end up getting somebody out for Milwaukee. At least one somebody. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Giannis and Middleton both sit. I fully expect Chris Middleton to sit. He has sat the back end of a back-to-back and the front end of a back-to-back recently. At the very least, we're not going to get Chris Middleton. I'm going to take Chris Middleton's minutes out already. That just seems easier to do. We're going to get Grayson Allen to 28. We're going to get Pat Connaughton to 25. We'll get, Joe Ingles could conceivably sit here. We're going to take him to 22. Jay Crowder's in for 20. That seems fine. Those final 13 minutes, I'm just going to give to Beauchamp. But just know, we're not going to have anything here for Milwaukee without a bunch of guys. And, I can't speculate on Giannis yet. So that's Milwaukee. On the Orlando end, not playing anybody here. Maybe you get shares of Paolo or Franz or Fultz in a GPP, but there are no priorities in this matchup. Please ignore it as much as you can. Unfortunately for us, we got to go do this one. The Los Angeles Lakers on a back-to-back, 1.5-point favorites in OKC. This is not going to be fun. For the Lakers, obviously no Russell, no LeBron. I assume we're getting what we got yesterday. I actually need to look at one thing. Okay, so it was Troy Brown, played 26 minutes. Rui played 19. Wenyen Gabriel did play as well. So we didn't get Bamba as the backup center. Who was the backup center? Did they go Vandy? So AD came off. Oh, they went Wenyen Gabriel backup center. All right, that works. So let's get Wenyen Gabriel in for the backup center run. And then we got 28 out of Vandy. I think I feel pretty comfortable maintaining that. I'm going to say Rui just gets the other 20. Did they actually run it like that? They basically did. Okay, that makes me feel pretty good. 33 for Schroeder. I can't see a scenario where we don't go that direction. There are minutes to go around for Lonnie Walker, so that is something to entertain. Who was Schroeder's backup? I guess technically it was basically Lonnie Walker. And then they played alongside each other a bit. So there's not really another point guard on this team, which is interesting to think about. We're going to get Lonnie Walker up to 22. $26 for Reeves feels right. 33 for Beasley feels right. 26 for Troy Brown. And then just a couple random minutes of spillover that will hook to Mo Bamba. These guys are going to look good, I imagine. I mean, a matchup against OKC is always really nice. And then for the Thunder, also on a back-to-back, no Shea. So I assume we're doing the same thing here, other than we got to move at least some of these minutes around. We got Isaiah Joe continuing to start. I'm going to discount those minutes. We're going to keep Giddey, even though that went pretty poorly. Actually, we're going to take Giddey down to 31. Got Trey Mann in for 18. That works. We got Aaron Wiggins in for 19. I'm going to go up to 21 here now. We got to get Saric up a little bit more. 32 for Jalen Williams, I'm perfectly fine with. I guess I'm going to go to 31 on Lou Dort so I don't go too crazy. Give that other minute to Saric. That gets him 17. 24 for Jalen Williams. That's kind of tricky. JRE played about 20. I mean, if you trust the minutes here, it's tricky. Yeah. I mean, we're going aggressively back to OKC. Dort again at 5,100. Even taking a minute away is good. I like Giddey. I like Jalen Williams. I still like Isaiah Joe, even at 26 minutes, which isn't fun. Jalen Williams with a Y, Saric, Wiggins, Kenrich Williams. You can kind of just mix and match to the Lakers, but I think you got to get to Dort pretty heavily. I think you get to the starters a lot. And then on the Lakers, oh boy. Yeah, I mean, this is the game. This is very clearly the game. AD, Schroeder, Beasley, Vanderbilt, Jam City, across the board. I'm going to have a ton of these guys. It's a great matchup. I hate it. I truly do. I do not like this at all. But yeah, OKC and the Lakers. At least it's an 8 o'clock start, and we're not held hostage till ultra late. But we're also down to the final game. So for the 180 people that are here, thank you very much. It means a lot to have you guys hanging out with me to start off the day. Don't forget, we're up to 100 likes too. You guys are even better. So we're going to go a little early here. Don't forget, this would be very helpful. Sign up at BetMGM. Link is in the description. If you've been interested in starting off on some sports betting, we've got plenty of tools at Stokastic and OddsShopper that will help you out. And then we've got this deal where you can get 1 month of Stokastic plus Platinum. You get access to everything we have on the DFS side other than Fantasy Cruncher. You get that for a month. You get up to $1,000 in first bet insurance. So you could take a big risk on your first bet if you want. You get that back in bonus bets. Use the Platinum sub is the promo code. But you do all of that. All you have to do is make a $10 deposit at a minimum. So if you really don't care too much about the first bet insurance and all you want is that free month of Stokastic plus Platinum, it's essentially a $10 month. It's like $130 in savings. You got to be 21 or over. Be responsible. And if you've got a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, final game. New Orleans Pelicans, 2-point dogs in Portland, 232 total. What do we got here? No Zion, no Larry Nance, no Jose Alvarado, who's going to be out for a little bit. So Alvarado comes out of this rotation. I'm guessing we just get Dyson Daniels. Also, be very, very ready for Willie Hernan Gomez, Jackson Hayes fuckery. Like, that's on the table. Joval and Hayes split the center minutes last time out. I'm going to go 28-20 Hayes and Joval. I'm going to not project Willie Hernan Gomez to play. Best of luck to you guys in that endeavor. Don't come crying to me if it goes the other way. I won't. I don't trust it at all. Trey Murphy in for 25 minutes seems fine. Najee Marshall in for 20 minutes seems fine. Herb Jones minutes look fine. Jay Rich seems fine. I'm going to say that they go to Dyson Daniels because I think Josh Richardson can run the backup point here and that they can stagger those guys around a little bit. And then we're going to get 18 out of Dyson Daniels. Rates all stay the same. Snowman, I only have early morning workouts on Friday, but I pushed it this Friday because I'm not on the strategy show. So we don't have a hard out on Friday, no matter how many games there are. Now let's look at Portland. The Portland Trailblazers on the opposite side here, coming off of last night's back-to-back. Don't think we're going to have anything too crazy that we have to project here. Aiden Sharp played 30 minutes. I got him in for 24. We could have that kind of conversation if we want. Eubanks played 25. Watford played 23. So those guys straight back up each other for the first time in a while. So I'm going to get Watford up to 21. 32 for Reddish. We're going to bring that down to 30. 30 for Thibault. We're going to bring that down to 29. They're not going to Nas Little, though, which is interesting. It was more Shaden Sharp, so I'm going to take him up to 26. That won't really matter. He's terrible from a DFS perspective. And then we'll give a little bit more playing time to Keon Johnson. If I'll stay the same for Portland, which means we close it out. And I think the dynamic between Drew Eubanks and Trendon Watford is at least interesting for tonight. Dame still looks good at 11-9. Might be the best pay-up option today, which is still kind of crazy to think about. Pelicans matchup is good for him. Joe Val's this would be a matchup where Larry Nance would play a lot at the 5. Joe Val is not capable of guarding out on the perimeter for Dame, so I think he's in a really good spot. I'll say this much. Based on the matchup, if you just look at this through that sort of lens, Jackson Hayes is going to be the backup center and probably play a bunch of minutes because I don't think Joe Val is a terrible fit for this matchup based on the way that he has to play defense in the pick and roll. Willie Hernan Gomez is not getting out on the perimeter either. He's going to be even worse than Joe Val. Jackson Hayes is the only one that's going to be able to guard at least a little bit on the perimeter. So don't be surprised to see more Jackson Hayes. Now that I say all of that, I'm sure Willie Hernan Gomez is going to play 20 minutes and smash. But this is the kind of matchup where you get Hayes. Portland sort of just looks good across the board. I assume the Pels don't look good at all. Oh, they look better than I thought. Okay. Yeah, I'm doing this. I trust my brain. It worked yesterday. I gotta let it work again today. We're gonna go down to 27 minutes on Joe Val, 21 to Hayes. I don't want to get too much Joe Val. Jackson Hayes is flat min, 3K, power forward center. He is the sneakiest part of today's slate, I think. Because he is, like a 0.85, 0.9 guy. The minutes are important. That power forward eligibility is everything. But now, folks, now's the time that we love more than anything else on the Process Show. And that, my friends, is the time where we run crunches. Let's figure out where the optimals are, folks. Thank you guys for being here. We got an easy one tomorrow. I believe there's 3 games. It could be 4. 4 tomorrow, and then another 10-gamer on Friday. So Excited for the 4-gamer tomorrow. Sixers, Mavs, Clippers, Warriors. Both fun games. Pacers, Spurs, a little bit less so, but I assume will be a very big DFS game. So let's do it. First one up, FanDuel Optimals. Pay up options here are going to be tricky because they all look real similar. Looks like the preferred pay up option on FanDuel is either going to be AD or Dame. In fact, it's almost assuredly going to be Dame. Ja could run him down, though, depending on how much you need the salary. All right, Optimals. 318.36. It's the optimal by, I can't even do that math. 1.73. Is that right? 318.36 minus 316.60. Yeah, 1.73. That's about as big of a gap as I could remember. Lillard, Morant, Jalen Williams, Schroeder, Thibault, Beasley, Vanderbilt, Tillman, Joval. And if you wanted to drop down from that, you turn Tillman into Drew Eubanks. Sure. Thanks, FanDuel. Look, the top is going to look very busy. And then I think it's just going to be a random number generator. Fun stuff. Fun slate. Make sure you guys are checking out my Prize Picks videos on the Odd Shopper channel, No House Advantage videos on the Odd Shopper channel. Like I said, we went 7-5 on No House Advantage yesterday. That's 58% winners. If I'm picking 58 and change percent winners on No House Advantage long term, that is a profitable video. That is higher than any break-even mark you're going to look. Prize Picks, I believe we got a little bit of money back using the taco from yesterday on Trae Young. I think we went 3-2 on the video picks, and then 4-1 on my Twitter post. So, you know, that's another day where even if you want to ignore the taco, that's 6-3. Massive day as far as I'm concerned from those picks. People won't understand that in the video. They're like, this guy sucks. None at all. Malik Beasley, number 1 for FanDuel. Dennis Schroeder, 2. Jalen Williams, 3. Thibault, 4. AD, 5. Lillard, DSJ, Cam Johnson, Ja Morant, Jabari Smith rounded out. Now we go to DraftKings, the one that actually matters. And for DK, I don't have a great feel about who the pay-ups are going to be. I think it's Ja. I think Ja will be in the optimal here, but we shall see. Optimal lineups on DraftKings. JJ, nice. Love hitting that 6X. Gotta love the tacos. All right, 297.37. This is the optimal lineup by 0.41. Terry Rozier, Isaiah Joe, Tari Eason, Julius Randle, Vanderbilt, Beasley, Dort, AD. Okay. AD making the optimal here. I get it. I mean, that's the matchup against OKC. They don't have anybody. They don't have a single soul that can handle AD. If AD wants to be AD, this is a great spot for him to just nuke things. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that or not. I don't want to be like Eric Lindquist. All right. Power rankings on DraftKings before we get out of here. Looking, I mean, it's going to be just a sea of OKC and the Lakers for sure. Going to be a dog. It looks like AD is going to be that number 1 guy. I don't disagree with it in any way, shape, or form. The fact that he's center only is a problem, but like he's going to look better than Joel Embiid against Miami. Like it's a better matchup. It's the same-ish minutes, same-ish rates with no LeBron. BT Platinum. You got to search for it's in our Odd Shopper channel. They're not live, they're pre-recorded. But I do a Prize Picks video 6 days a week, giving my 5 favorite plays. If you search for my name, Josh Engleman, or if you search for Odd Shopper and go to the Odd Shopper channel, subscribe to it. All right, Malik Beasley actually catches AD. Number 1 guy for today, AD 2, Dennis Schroeder. You can see the big gap here. So there's a big line in the sand after AD. Schroeder 3, Rozier 4, Dort 5, Jalen Williams, Jared Vanderbilt, Julius Randle, Jabari Smith, and Hamidou Diallo round it all out. 194 people in the house, 113 likes. You guys did everything I could possibly want. We made it. We made it. Went from thinking that I wasn't going to be on this show to a good day. It's a good day, folks. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it a ton. We'll have an easy one tomorrow. If you have any actual questions that you want to talk about tomorrow morning for tomorrow's show, we have all the time in the world to do it. 4 games is going to be simple. Nowhere to be. I'm not on a strategy show. So if you've got anything that you've wanted to ask, bring it tomorrow. We'll hit up some questions early. But for now, that's going to do it. Good luck to everybody. Thank you for joining me here. Hit the like button on the way out the door. This was The Process.